Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Stretch the Sketch. Now this is today's sketch right here. It is by Laura Whitaker. It does have kind of a slant and photos tucked in with some decorations. I am going to stretch this out I'm not sure if it's going to be a 12 by 12 and a 12 by 12 or 12 by 12 and a 6 by 12. I haven't figured that out yet, but I will figure that out. I've got my never-ending kit, so let's see what I can do. All right, guys, so I sat down to do this voiceover and realized that I should have posted this video yesterday for Stretch the Sketch because I had made this video beforehand. I was actually ahead, had the things ready to go, and your girl messed it up. But you know what? Sometimes that happens, and it's okay because the video is going to go up today, and it's a whole lot of fun. So in the sketch, it has this slight diagonal where the photos and decorations are kind of coming up out of it. And originally, that was going to be my kind of vision for this layout as well. However, ultimately, I decide to go with something a little bit different, and I am completely happy with that. I love the way that this came out. I was actually hesitant of having the white background as such a strong presence here on the layout, but ultimately it worked out great, and I'm super happy with it. And that's really what matters, right? That you are happy with your layouts. Sometimes happy, you know, maybe we're not deliriously happy, but it's finished and they're good. So there is that. Now I had pulled out this piece of paper. It's been sitting in the never-ending kit with the opposite side facing out for a hot minute because I thought that was the side I would be using. But surprise, surprise, I used the big fat old floral side instead of the stripes, which I love, right? I love the fact that I am using the florally side and it's not going to overwhelm the page and it works. So this, what I am scrapbooking are photos of the recreation yard in Alcatraz. Now, I have scrapbooked other photos of the recreation yard. There are other ones, so it's not like this is the only situation, right? Here I am trying to figure out if I want to tuck them in, and then I realize if I tuck them in, I am seriously going to cover up all of that beautiful floral paper that I just made the decision to use instead of using the striped paper. Well, that's not going to fly with me, right? So I decide I need to fix that. And what I'm going to do is kind of trim down the photos, and then I'm going to lower the photos so that they're on the bottom portion of the page instead of the top. Now, what that's going to mean is there is going to be a huge expanse of white space up at the top of the layout. And ultimately, what I'm doing is I'm going to do a tiny little decoration up there, just so it's not just this big glaring white space. It's still a lot of white space when I'm finished, but I am completely cool with it. I'm going to flip through my 6x8 paper pad so that I can go ahead and make sure to get some of these colors underneath of the layout, because again, there is a lot of white on the layout. So I trimmed down the photos, and yes, that photo was taken because it looks like a phallic symbol. And yes, if you guys have watched my channel, you know I have this sense of humor of a 12-year-old boy. So I found it hilarious. I pointed at it, I giggled. I giggled with my husband. I giggled with the kids. Like, it was a whole thing, okay? It was a whole thing that there was this phallic symbol in the recreation yard. And if that's not actually what it is, I don't even care what it is because that's what it looks like. So, of course, I had to take a picture of it. And then there's also a picture of some grassy areas, and then a picture of me, and then the words that describe the recreation yard itself. Okay. Now, that being said, I do cut down the photos. I don't think that I'm really losing any kind of detail in the photos where I trim them down. I'm not concerned that, you know, there's some sort of priceless bit of photograph that is not being shown here. Um, so, yeah. As you can see, I brought those all down over top of the layout. Now, I did think about flipping this upside down so that the photos would still be on the top and having the teal part at the top and the white at the bottom. That was something that crossed my mind, but ultimately not the thing that I really wanted to do, right? I'm just thinking, nope, that's not exactly how I want this layout to be. So I'm not going to do it. As you can see, I did span the little pieces of decoration across the top of the page. It is going to span both of the layouts. I'm going to go ahead and use my scissors to snip it. It'd be like snip. I know that's not a scissor sound, but I don't know how to make a scissor sound, so is what you guys get. I am a person that talks in sounds. It's just the way life goes sometimes. Now I'm messing around with the florals because I want to bring some florals down. Why I didn't just fussy cut the florals out of this paper is beyond me, right? I literally don't know why I didn't think of that while I was scrapbooking this layout. Right now I'm thinking of it. I'm like, why didn't you just fussy cut them, Sandy? It would have been perfect. But for some strange unknown reason, it didn't occur to me until just now. I will tell you, I did think about bringing in tags to this layout. That did not last either. There's just sometimes when you are scrapbooking, you just don't want to do some of the things that you have ideas for. And I know that that probably sounds pretty ridiculous, right? Like, you have an idea, why aren't you doing it? I don't know. I just don't want to, right? I just don't want to. So I'm bringing in these floral die cuts. They are sparkly, so that makes me happy because I love some glitter in my life. And I'm just going to place them on three places, right? I'm going to add some of the decoration up here to the top just because I felt like huge white expanse space. So needed to trim that. Sorry, I paused weirdly there for a second. Christopher is playing video games with the girls downstairs, and they were getting a little loud, so I wanted to hear what they were saying. So there is that, right? Okay, so I am going to kind of finagle these flowers around to where I really want them to be, to what gives me basically the most happiness, if we're being quite honest. Like, which way do these make me happy is kind of the vibe I'm going for, right? And it's funny because there's sometimes when you're scrapbooking, right, and you just can't handle what you're coming up with, okay? And like, you can't handle it in a good way, meaning you love what you have going on. And then there are times where you can't handle it in a bad way because you're like, what in the heck did I do? Hopefully this time is in a good way. It still has the same kind of feeling as my other Alcatraz layouts, I think. But interestingly enough, it is a little bit different. But I think that that's going to be okay, you guys. I think it's going to be okay because I have a couple of layouts that are just have the same feeling, but they're just a little off. They're just a little different. And I think that what that's going to do is lend itself to a little bit of variety and interest in my albums. Because I like a good theme. Okay, I love a good themed album, especially if it's a Disney album. Love me a themed album. But I kind of go more for continuity than exactly matching. And I think the little dips out of it where like this has a big white space on it and it's actual white. It's not just white space, you know, in air quotes. That's a little bit of a difference, right? It's also a 6x12 page. And I was like, well, what happens if I go through my photos and I don't have another layout that I can do a 6x12 on? I do, you guys. Remember when I was kind of going through and figuring out what I needed to do for Alcatraz? I had a stack of layouts where some of them are in 6x12 page protectors. Well, if worse comes to worse, I can use one of those, right? Like, so I'm not freaking out. I am going to be able to use these white letter stickers, and I am telling you guys, I am shocked with how many words I'm getting out of these white letter stickers because I don't have vowels left, right? At least I don't think there are any vowels left. I mean, there's U's, but there are also N's. And all I'm doing is cutting up the letters to make vowels. Like this, what was that, a Q? I just turned it into an A, right? The M, I'm turning it into an R because I'm getting an N and an R out of that now, right? And then, of course, the D is still there, so that's just going to go on there. So anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this layout. I will tell you, I thought about adding sprinkles and enamel dots, but ultimately I felt like that would take away more from the layout than it would add to it. And more is more unless it's not. And here we are. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please check out everyone who has been playing along with Stretch the Sketch. Obviously, they all posted yesterday. I don't know where my mind was, but sometimes that's how it comes down, you know? Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.